This man is drunk. Wait, am I drunk? I'm nobody. Yes, you do have a problem. God's got this. No, I got this. You're stupid. You're dumb. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a son. I'm a leader. I am Marcus J. Scott. I'm Marcus J. Scott, author of The Drunken Preacher, here to encourage critical thinking, social awareness, advocate growth, resilience, provide hope, and help you find faith. Oh, we back. Welcome to another edition of The Drunken Preacher Podcast. I'm Marcus J. Scott, and man, I got a rough one for you today. The pressure of the promise. Yeah, the pressure of the promise. Listen, I've been praying for some things. I've been asking God for something better. Things I've been praying for years, for a while. And I'm finally starting to get or see some things come to fruition. Have you ever had that? You've been praying, asking for God for something, and you finally get the blessing. But what I didn't realize is better blessings, promises that come true, reality, or dreams and goals that become a reality don't take away the pressure. It doesn't take away the struggle. It doesn't take away you having problems. You know, a lot of people who don't have money say, if I just had more money. As I like to call him, Deacon Biggie, or he might have moved up to Pastor Biggie Smalls would say, more money, more problems. Yeah, more money, more problems, which means you're asking for more money. More money doesn't solve whatever the issue is that you're having. It just creates new ones. Yeah, it just creates new ones. You know, we often want the bigger house. And so you have more space, which means you have more to clean, more to take care of, a higher electric bill. Yeah, you got a bigger, nicer house. But with the blessing becomes more problems or different demons. Somebody said it this way: new doors, new devils. Yeah, just because we get something or the prayer is answered or the blessing becomes true doesn't mean the things go away. All right. And so while I've been asking for God to give me more, God use me more. And then when he starts to use me and do things, there's more pressure. Yeah, there's more things that come with what I'm asking. And so you ever hear people say, be careful what you ask for? I often say, be careful what you pray for. You know, in the Bible, they talked about, we want a king. We want a king. God was like, you don't need no king. I'm the king. We want a king. He was like, okay. So he gave him a king. Turns out the king ended up being for himself, not the people. Turned out the king wasn't as good as they thought the king was going to be. But God blessed them. He gave them what they asked for. And so what is it that you're asking for that, are you prepared for the blessing? What is it that you've been asking for that you may have already gotten and you're not really considering what the pressure could be? Growth doesn't remove the pressure. It introduces new responsibility. Yeah, it doesn't remove the pressure. It introduces new responsibility. I told you, You get a bigger house, the light bill is higher, more space to clean. A lot of people, they like the nice car. Oh, if I had I get the Bentley. I get the top of the line Mercedes. I get this kind of car. Yeah, but the oil change is like $2,000. To change and rotate the tires is a couple $1,000s. It's not like you going to your local Walmart and paying a couple $100 for some tires. It's not your typical. I'm gonna go to AutoZone and change out the light bulb. So you're asking for these things, but are you counting the cost of the blessing? And so one of the things we have to look at is the weight of the responsibility. The things that you're asking for, are you considering the weight? Because what happens is the promise increases expectation. The higher you go, the more you have, the more that's expected. The more people demand of you, your time matters more. Your mistakes cost more. So, as I grow in ministry and I begin to lead new people, lead others, before, while I was the preacher's kid and the pastor's son, before I still was kind of like, so if I mess up, it's no big deal. Now walking this path of ministry and the things that I'm doing now, if I mess up, the preacher messed up. Oh, look at the pastor and see he's supposed to be. The expectation is higher. Your mistakes cost more. Before, when I would do some not so good decisions, it was like, well, he human. Well, But now as a preacher, now as somebody who leads people, I could make those same mistakes and won't go over too well. And so as we move into promises that and blessings that we're actually receiving, that we've been praying for, we got to upgrade our discipline before we upgrade our lifestyle. So that's one of the things we got to do. We got to upgrade the discipline before we upgrade the lifestyle. Let's talk about finance. You want more money, but are you being a good steward over the little bit you do have? Are you being a good steward over the 30,000 you make a year right now? Are you being a good steward over the 50,000 you make right now? Are you being a good steward over the 100,000 that you're making right now? Are you being a good steward over the 2 employees you have? Are you being a good steward over the 5 employees that you have? Are you being a good steward of your time now, not being on a lot of boards, in a lot of rooms, around a lot of people, or with a certain class of people? Do you have a schedule now? Are you following your calendar or schedule now? You want more stuff. It amazes me how a lot of people want to be famous. I never really wanted to be famous. I really just I've always said I just want the money because fame. And the biggest reason is you can't hardly go nowhere. People want to be famous and known and all of that. But then when you go walk in the store and people want to take pictures, you trying to be with your family, trying to do certain things, and people pulling you 100 different directions. Do you count that cost into being famous? Ask some famous people. Sometimes they don't want to be famous. Sometimes they just want to be like, look, just leave me. Look, can I eat dinner, please? I'm out with the kids. I'm out with my wife. But you crying about being famous. Are you doing the things that you need to do while you're in the situation you're in now? How about we start auditing our habits and the things that we're doing now in the circumstance or situation that we're in. And if you've already been blessed and God is giving you the promise that you've been asking for, look out. Here comes the pressure. Here comes the pressure. The second thing I want to raise is the battle in your mind. Oh yeah. Now this is something that I have been and I'm currently dealing with. But let me first start off by saying, while I'm battling things going in my head, I also have a therapist / counselor that I talk to on the regular. Not necessarily because I'm going crazy. You know, a lot of people, oh, that's just for people who going crazy. No, that's so you can stay sane. Who drives a car for 2, 3, 4 years and never gets an oil change, never gets a checkup, never gets the tires rotated, never make sure the belts and the fluids are good? Yet we want to drive our bodies and our mind into the ground and never go get a checkup, never go get it checked out. You want to be elevated, but you want to be mentally broke down. There's a lot of battles that happen in our mind. That's why the Bible tells us to renew our mind daily. We got to constantly be mindful about our mind. New levels trigger new insecurities. As I started preaching and speaking more, here's what's crazy. So I've been around a lot of preachers and speakers and teachers on many different levels. And what happened is, when I started speaking, when I started preaching, my mind immediately went to, man, I can't do it like T.D. Jakes. Man, I can't do it like my uncle, Bishop Clark. Man, I can't do it like my dad, Bishop Thomas Scott. Man, I can't do it like E.T. Man, I can't do it like this person or that person. So mentally, I started having issues with, or I shouldn't say necessarily issues, but battling in my mind. Man, I'm not like this person or that person. I can't do it like this. Oh man, am I really good enough to step on this stage or step in this pulpit? I began to ask, am I really ready for this? So we start having the battle in our mind. Have you gotten the blessing where you start having the battle in your mind? And so what I have to do now is I have to limit the comparison. I can't say. I actually, what I start doing is I start looking at the people that I'm looking at, and the very next question I ask myself, yeah, but how much time do they have in it? How long has Bishop Jake's been doing it? How long has my dad been doing it? How long has my uncle been doing it? How long has E.T., I call him Pastor Thomas, how long has he been doing that? I was talking to Pastor T.J. Tyus, who is um Eric's or Pastor Thomas executive pastor. I didn't even realize it until we had a conversation. He's like, yeah, man, I've been doing, people don't know, but I've been doing this for like 20 years. Now we around the same age, but he been doing it for 20 years. I just started. I can't even compare myself to people who are around or about my same age, but they've been doing it longer than I have. I haven't technically I haven't been a licensed agent. So I've been in real estate for a while doing investments and stuff, but I haven't been a licensed agent as long as some of these people who've been 20, 30 years. And I'm like, man, I don't have this, I don't have that. I ain't in this room or that room. Some of us just started our business 2 years ago and we comparing ourselves to Walmart. Come on, really? You comparing yourself to some people who done had a business for 10 years, 15 years. You just started. And so we have to limit what we're thinking about or ask ourselves if we are comparison. The next question, how long have they been doing it? Because that's what I do. How long have they been doing it? So we got to also speak some affirmation that's rooted in faith and not ego. And so here's the reality. Honestly, I lean on God. That's what I do. God, you're going to have to help me with this one. I'm struggling with this one. Yep. Here's what I'm feeling. You said I'm you qualifying the call. Because that's what I got from one of my mentors. God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the call. And so since you're qualifying my call, since you said you called me to do this, I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think I'm capable enough, but you said so. So I'm going to lean on you, and this all you. I heard my dad say this the other day. He said, if it's God's will, it's God's bill. Sometimes we worrying about the wrong thing. If it's God's will, it's God's bill. Stop focusing on what it may look like and focus on God and say, all right, I thank you for allowing me to be in this position. Now you're going to have to help me with the direction. You're going to have to help me with my mental side of it, thinking, I don't know if I'm good enough to do this. I might not be, but God is. And that's what I got to start focusing on. I might not be, but God is. And so we got to understand that if we're that with the blessings and with the promises that he's given us, there's new pressures. Thank you for the promise, but help me to understand this new pressure. So the third thing I want to talk about or raise is the shift in relationships. Ooh, I'm gonna give myself some claps on this one because a lot of us, we don't understand this one. The shift in relationships. Let me say that one more time. The shifts in relationships. Elevation rearranges circles. Ooh. Ugh. Elevation rearranges circles. The higher you go, everybody can't go at the altitude you go. I got this one from my dad message the other day. I didn't even know this. Eagles, when they fly, the only thing that kind of try to hang with eagles are crows. A crow will get on the eagle's back and start pecking at it, on it, whatever. But the eagle, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't fight with the crow. He doesn't argue with the crow. You don't try to wrestle with him in the air. The eagle goes higher. And the higher the eagle goes, the crow ends up falling off because he can't breathe at those altitudes. Yeah, that was good. And some of us are going higher. We're going higher. There's going to be some people that fall off. There's going to be some people that can't go with you. Even in the Bible, the higher Jesus went, the smaller the circle got. All the disciples didn't go up to the mountain, only a few. And then they stopped at a certain point when he went high. Everybody's not going to be able to go to the top with you. There's going to be some change in the relationship. Not saying you got to stick your nose up at people or look down on people. The relationship is just going to change. Some people get uncomfortable. Some relationships stretch. Some of them fall off. The one you was like, yeah, this is my day one. This is my ride or die. We've been around since high school. If they're doing some of the same stuff y'all was doing in high school and you've grown, the relationship might not work. You start making money, your circle start changing, but some of your friends still acting the same and they haven't shifted their mindset as it relates to money or how they operate or how they present themselves. Do you want them to be the anchor that holds you down? So we got to understand when the promises come, the thing we've been praying for, and you receive the promise, here comes the pressure. And this pressure, specifically in the area we're talking about, is the relationship shift. Relationships will shift. They will be different. Even if it's the same person, they will be different. Now, will all of them? No. But some of them will, and that's the pressure. Because you're also going to get, oh, you think you too good now because, oh, you don't go out to the club no more with, oh, you don't go over here with us no more. Oh, you think you too good. Can you take the pressure? No, it's not. It's not that I think I'm too good. God is having me go this route. Now, you more than welcome to come go this route. But if not, ask yourself. So relationships will shift. Don't chase everyone into your next season. Don't chase. If they ain't talking to you no more because, they think you, okay. I still love everybody with the love of God. But you getting mad because I don't call you 5 times a day no more. Well, the reason I don't call you 5 times a day no more, because every time I call, you want to talk negative talk. You want to complain about everything and everybody. All I hear is complaints and no solutions. That's why I don't call you 5 times no more. Every time I call you, you always talking about the money you don't have, or how the man put you down, or how they did you wrong, or how they doing stuff to you. Always playing the victim. Sorry. I got to focus on some other stuff. That's why I don't call you no more. Other things we need to do is seek mentors. People who are already at levels you want to be. I got a number of different mentors and paid for mentors. Yeah, the mentors I got, I ain't just was like, oh yeah, man, why? Don't look at it as, and let me rephrase the paying for mentors. Really, it's investing in your. It's just as if I bought a book. Yeah, I paid for the book, but did the book help me grow and be better, or a better version of myself? I invested money to obtain a mentor to help me better myself. If I paid $10,000 for a mentor, and because it helped me make $100,000, how much really was the $10,000? I've paid thousands of dollars for mentors. Some of the income that I'm getting now from some of the things that I'm doing almost seems like a drop in the bucket. But that's what happens when the promises come, new pressures. Because now I feel like, okay, I need some higher level mentor. Some of these mentors help me get to this level. Now that I'm on this level, I want to go up to this level. Okay. the people that got money, you know what they call it? ROI. They don't ask how much is it going to cost me? How much do I need to invest? And it's not investing in that person that you're asking to be your mentor. It's really investing in yourself. Because here's the reality. A lot of times the things we put out money for, we're more committed to because we put out money. And if it's going to benefit me, if the information is going to benefit me, if the time with that person is going to benefit me and help me increase, it was worth the investment in myself, not necessarily in the mentor. It was an investment in myself. One of my companies that I have with my business partner is called Scott and Falk Intervest. The word means investing in yourself. And I think we came up with that. That's what it means. Investing in yourself. And so the things that you do, you ought to look at as investing in yourself. When you buy a book, when you get a mentor, a paid mentor, somebody you pay, when you pay for items or things that will increase who you are in character, spiritual, financial. Let's learn how to invest in ourselves as we grow with these promises. And then the last thing, the discipline of stewardship. Now, as you grow and develop and the blessings and the promises become a reality, you're going to have stronger and better discipline of stewarding both money and time. Stewarding money and time. The promise requires a higher version of yourself. You prayed for influence, increase, platforms. Now you got to guard your character. You got to manage wisely and stay spiritually grounded. The promise isn't a gift, isn't just a gift, it's an assignment. And so as you grow, discipline and stewardship becomes most important with time and finances. And I just talked about relationship. Sometimes the mentor helps you deal with that. But then you got to put into action. That's where the discipline comes in. What you're learning, what you're intaking. Now I start to put everything on my calendar. The other thing I do is it's shared with my assistant. It's shared with my wife. And then I have people that help me stay on track. Hey, you got this coming up. Hey, you got to do this. Hey, hey, don't forget this. Everything is on my calendar, including sleep. Does it mean the calendar doesn't get altered? Absolutely. Just last night, I was focusing on my finances again for like the 5th time this week because I'm like, okay, now that we doing this and doing that and we got this here over here and we got this here over here, I'll say it. I got like 5 streams of income right now. And so as things begin to change, how do I handle that? And I don't handle it the way I did last year or the year before or 2 years ago. No, I can't do that. I can't do it the same way I used to. Things are different. I'm growing. I want to be a better version of myself. And now I got to do things different. So now we're financially planning and we're going to stick to the plan. We have mentors and accountants and people holding us accountable for what we're doing so that we can grow in our finances. We have assistants and people in place to help us be a little bit more disciplined in our time. But one of the biggest things that I have done and am currently doing is I'm having a deeper prayer life. As I grow, I got to have a deeper prayer life because there's some things I know is coming. Even with the blessings and the promises that I have today, I know more pressure is coming. And so I got to have a deeper prayer life. I got to have a deeper prayer life. I got to strengthen my financial discipline, which I just talked about, and develop consistency over the hype. Y'all know this year is my year of consistency. And so in these areas of developing myself, prayer, financial discipline, time management, and I heard somebody say this and I love it. It's not time management because you can't manage time. It's managing the things within time. Managing your action items, managing what you're doing in the period of time that you have. I got to come up with a word for that. Because you can't manage the time. You're managing the actions within the time that you have. And so as we begin to grow and get blessings, we got to understand that there's pressures that come along with that. And so now all the stuff that we demanded, all the stuff that we prayed for, there's a certain level of maturity that comes with that. There's a certain level of growth that needs to come with that. There's a certain level of discipline that needs to come with the blessing, with the promise, with what God has given you in this new season. With the promise becomes pressure. One more time. With the promise becomes pressure. So the pressure doesn't mean you're failing. The weight doesn't mean you're unqualified. The stretch doesn't mean you're outside of God's will. We just need to anchor it with strength. So just because things are happening after the blessing doesn't mean it wasn't supposed to happen. It just means you got new pressures now. If it feels heavier, it's because it's greater. So we don't want to shrink. So listen, don't do this. Oh man, you know, when I was making 50,000, I ain't have to pay this much in taxes. Now that I'm making 500,000, man, the tax man is a trip. No, I just gotta get more discipline. You gotta understand what the new level is. Man, I ain't understand when I was gonna start being around these group of people and everything. This is what they do. So don't try to mess things up and go back to what you're comfortable with. I said this before on one of my morning motivations. You got to learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. If you want to grow, you got to learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. All right. So the pressure you feel is proof that the promise is alive. The pressure you feel is the proof that the promise is alive and you're growing into it. We're going to grow in this next season with the new pressures from the promise that God has given us. You've been praying for it. You've been asking for it. And if it hasn't come, then this message is telling you to prepare for it because it is coming. If the promise has come and you don't quite feel the pressure, it's coming. If you haven't gotten the promise yet, the promise is coming, but along with that is the pressure. And maybe consider God is waiting on you to mentally prepare because the pressure will come with the promise. And then if you're already feeling the pressure, it's not failure. It's not that you messed up. I'm telling you that God is saying, yeah, I blessed you. Now I need you to handle these new levels. Now I need you to deal with these new pressures. Now I need you to lean on me more because it is bigger. I gave you something I knew you couldn't handle by yourself because I wanted you to lean on me more. So let's understand, the higher we go, the more God blesses us, the more he allows us to have the promises that he promised us. For the things we prayed for, there will be pressure. And with that pressure, we have to grow deeper in him if we want to be better versions of ourselves moving forward. All right. Hey, that's my time for today. I enjoyed this. Hope you got something out of it. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and like Marcus J. Scott 4040. Marcus J. Scott 4040. And until next time, always have a heart of gratitude and the strength to keep moving forward. God bless you.
It's your time. Yeah. The drunken preacher. The drunken preacher. It's your time. It's your time. The drunken preacher. The drunken preacher. The drunken preacher. The drunken preacher. The drunken preacher.